What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to talk about some of the changes that they made to the Escalation Protocol shotgun, and of course I'm talking about the Ikelos Shotgun that you get from Escalation Protocol. Now, since this weapon came out in Warmind, it has dominated the inventory of many players. Once I got this weapon, as you can tell, I'm over 7,500 kills. I've used this thing quite often, especially once they changed it from a heavy weapon into a secondary weapon. That allowed you to have some really good loadouts here with the Ikelos, and then you could switch it up with Whisper, with Sleeper, anything you wanted, and you could have a amazing loadout. And really, guys, not since Destiny 1, when you had Fatebringer, Black Hammer, and Gallahorn, did you have a loadout like this where you had the Ikelos and then a really powerful heavy weapon. And it made a lot of encounters much more easy. So it's not a surprise that they did nerf this weapon. And just to go into the nerf really quick, you'll notice right now if I melee an enemy, I have Trench Barrel. But now if I shoot 3 shots, Trench Barrel goes away. So that's the biggest change here. It's not a massive change on the surface, but it does make for a pretty impactful change when it comes to overall DPS, because this is a weapon where if you activate Trench Barrel, you're going to inflict a massive amount of damage on powerful enemies. So in things like strike bosses, nightfall bosses, the raid encounters, having this weapon made certain fights a lot more manageable. So it's not a surprise that they did nerf the weapon, but I think when it comes to the nerf that they did, I think the nerf that they implemented is actually pretty fair. It doesn't make the weapon useless. It's still one of the best weapons, I think, in my opinion, even with that nerf. And it's just going to make a situation where you may find it more useful to use a different secondary in place of this for certain encounters. And I think that's always a good thing, to experiment, to try different weapons. And I think it's one where they don't make this weapon completely useless, but they also make it where you may want to reconsider your weapon loadout. So overall, I think the change is not surprising. I think it's one where it's a fair compromise, and the best compromise that they could have done. I mean, they always could have made the weapon only do 10% more damage or something much less for a Trench Barrel and kind of nerf that perk. But I like that they made it a bit different here, where it's still pretty powerful, just not quite as powerful as it was. But also, too, I think, guys, and this is something that is kind of speculating here, it also, too, opens the door for potentially updating Escalation Protocol next year as part of one of the annual pass content drops and making exotic versions of these weapons. So maybe you can make an exotic version that doesn't have that Trench Barrel limitation to it, and perhaps a Catalyst does something even more, where it increases it from 8 shots to 12 shots, or who knows. There's ways that they could make this even more powerful, but also give you that trade-off where you have to use it as an exotic. So that's something that I would like to see for next year. Just speculating at this point, but wanted to talk about and give my opinions on it. I'm very curious what you guys think. Real quick though, just to end this video, I want to make a reminder that I will keep doing the Escalation Protocol live streams. If you're not familiar with those, every Wednesday, usually every Wednesday, I do Escalation Protocol live streams and invite people from the game, or people from the stream, into the game. I've done that for the last couple months here, and I'm well over 500 final bosses defeated. So I want to let people know that, number one, even with this nerf, I will still keep doing those streams. And if you're not familiar with those, you're more than welcome to hop in. I try to do this every Wednesday, and also sometimes on the weekend as well, to help people get these weapons, whether it be to get the weapons or to make sure that you're having everything you need to get the Sleeper Catalyst done. So wanted to remind people about that. Guys, number one though, thanks for watching. We'll catch up soon, and best of luck with Black Armory.